We're going to bring you some breaking news just coming into us now here in Al Jazeera that Pope Francis, the first Latin American leader of the Roman Catholic Church, has died.
Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, passed away on a Monday morning. But now, for the first time in centuries, the next pope might not be European. Imagine a pope from Africa or Asia, voices long unheard at the very top of the Catholic Church. With Pope Francis's sweeping changes, the upcoming election could mark a true turning point in church history. In this video, we'll explore the top candidates who might become the next leader of over 1 billion Catholics worldwide. Whether you're Catholic, curious about global leadership, or fascinated by historic change, this is a story that affects millions. Stay with us because history could be made very soon. Who chooses the next pope? The Catholic Church is one of the oldest and largest religious groups in the world, with billions of followers. Recently, the Vatican announced that Pope Francis passed away on Monday morning. He was a beloved leader known for his focus on social justice and a global vision for the Church. His death has left many wondering what happens next and who will become the new pope. He had just been released from the hospital after receiving treatment for a serious lung infection. He was 88 years old. He served as pope for 12 years and became known for his focus on social justice, care for the poor, and efforts to bring people of different faiths together. His passing has now raised many questions. Who will be the next pope? What happens now? And how is a new pope chosen? The next pope will be chosen by a group of senior Catholic leaders called the College of Cardinals. These are bishops and priests from around the world, and many of them were appointed by Pope Francis himself. To become pope, a person must be a male, baptized member of the Roman Catholic Church. While it is possible to choose someone outside the group of cardinals, for hundreds of years, the new pope has always come from within this group. Right now, there are more than 200 cardinals around the world. However, only some of them are allowed to vote for the new pope. Let's explore how that works. Only cardinals who are younger than 80 years old can take part in the voting process. This is a rule set by the Church to make sure the decision is made by those who are still active and healthy. Usually there are no more than 120 cardinals allowed to vote. But right now there are a few more than that, about 138. This is because Pope Francis appointed extra members during his time as pope. Once they are gathered, these cardinals meet in a special place to choose the next leader of the Church. The process of choosing a new pope is called a papal conclave. It takes place in the Vatican, inside the Sistine Chapel, a famous church with beautiful artwork by Michelangelo. To make sure no outside person can influence the decision, the cardinals stay locked inside the chapel while they vote. This rule has been in place for many years to keep the process private and secure. The word conclave actually comes from Latin and means with a key, because the cardinals are literally locked in until a new pope is chosen. The cardinals vote by writing the name of their chosen candidate on a piece of paper. The voting is done in secret, and nobody knows who voted for whom. Each vote is counted by a group of 9 cardinals who are randomly picked to oversee the process. To be elected, a candidate needs to get at least 2/3 of the votes. This means the new pope must have the strong support of the group. If no one gets enough votes, they vote again. They can vote up to 4 times in one day. After each round of voting, the ballots are burned. Special chemicals are used to create smoke that tells the world what's happening inside. If no pope has been chosen, black smoke rises from a chimney on the roof of the Sistine Chapel. This tells the crowd outside that voting is still going on. But if a pope has been chosen, white smoke is released. This is the signal that the world has been waiting for. A new pope has been elected. When will the conclave begin? The conclave usually starts about 2 or 3 weeks after the pope dies or resigns. This gives the Church enough time to hold a 9-day mourning period and to allow cardinals from all over the world to travel to the Vatican. When Pope Benedict resigned in the year 2013, the conclave began just 12 days later. That same conclave ended with the election of Pope Francis, the first pope from South America. So we can expect the process to begin within a couple of weeks after Pope Francis's passing. The time it takes to elect a new pope depends on how quickly the cardinals agree on a candidate. It can take just a few days, or it can take much longer. In recent years, the elections have been fairly quick. The last 3 popes were chosen in just a few days. But in the past, it wasn't always that simple. One election in the 13th century took nearly 3 years to finish. The cardinals were deeply divided, and political issues made it very hard to reach a decision. Thankfully, today's church is much more organized, and with clear rules in place, the process is likely to be quicker. Once a new pope is elected, one of the senior cardinals steps out onto a large balcony above St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. He announces the famous words, "Habemus Papam," which means, "We have a pope." Then he tells the crowd the name of the new pope and the name he has chosen to use as pope. For example, Jorge Mario Bergoglio chose the name Francis when he became pope in 2013. Soon after, the new pope comes out to greet the people, give his first blessing, and begin his new role as the spiritual leader of more than 1 billion Catholics around the world. Now that Pope Francis has passed away, the Catholic Church is entering a period of mourning. Catholics around the world are praying for his soul and remembering his teachings and leadership. At the same time, the Church is preparing for one of its most important duties, choosing a new pope. The cardinals will gather, pray, and vote until they reach a decision that will shape the future of the Church. The next pope will face many challenges, but will also have the chance to guide the Church through a new chapter of faith, hope, and unity. Who will be the next pope? The Catholic Church may be getting a new pope soon. This is always a big moment in history, when the pope steps down or passes away. A group of special church leaders, called cardinals, gather to choose the next one. This group is called the conclave. This time things are a bit different. Out of all the cardinals who are allowed to vote, most were chosen by Pope Francis himself. He made sure to bring in voices from all over the world, especially from Africa, Asia, and Latin America. These areas haven't had a pope before, but that could change very soon. Today's cardinals come from many different countries and cultures. They don't all think the same way, and that's important. The youngest one is just 45 years old. He's from Ukraine but works in Australia. This shows how the Church is truly global now. Pope Francis wanted to make sure the Church reflects all its members. Most Catholics today live outside Europe, so it makes sense that future leaders might come from places like Africa or Asia. When the Pope is no longer in office, the Vatican enters a time called sede vacante, which means empty seat. A senior cardinal called the Camerlengo takes charge during this period. He doesn't lead the Church spiritually, but he makes sure everything runs smoothly. Right now, the Camerlengo is Cardinal Kevin Farrell. He was born in Ireland and is also the head of the Vatican Supreme Court. His job is to prepare the Church for the big vote. Cardinal Peter Turkson from Ghana. One of the most talked about candidates is Cardinal Peter Turkson. He comes from Ghana in West Africa. He used to lead the Vatican's Office for Justice and Peace. That means he worked on big issues like poverty, human rights, and fairness. Cardinal Turkson is seen as a serious and wise leader. He cares deeply about making the world a better place. He speaks out against war and supports peace in Africa. Many believe he could be the first African pope in modern times. Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo from Congo. Another African cardinal being considered is Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo. He is the Archbishop of Kinshasa, the capital city of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He is known for being a strong leader and a man of faith. Ambongo speaks boldly about the problems facing his country. He stands up for the poor and calls for justice. He also works for peace in a country that has seen a lot of violence. Like Turkson, he would bring a fresh perspective from the global south. Cardinal Luis Tagle from the Philippines. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle is another strong candidate. He comes from the Philippines, one of the most Catholic countries in the world. He used to be the Archbishop of Manila, the capital city. Tagle is very close to Pope Francis and shares many of his views. He focuses on helping the poor and believes in social justice. He also speaks in a warm, friendly way that many people love. His ability to connect with both ordinary people and church leaders could make him a strong choice. A pope from Asia? If Cardinal Tagle is chosen, he would be the first Asian pope in over 1,000 years. That would be a historic moment. It would also show how important Asia has become in the modern church. Cardinal Peter Erdo from Hungary. From Europe, Cardinal Peter Erdo is seen as a leading conservative voice. He is the Archbishop of Esztergom Budapest in Hungary. He is a traditionalist, meaning he supports old church teachings and values. But Erdo is also known for reaching out to other Christian groups, especially the Orthodox Church in Eastern Europe. He wants to heal old divisions and bring Christians closer together. For this reason, he could be a uniting figure. Cardinal Pietro Parolin from Italy. Cardinal Pietro Parolin is one of the most experienced people in the Vatican. He works as the Holy See's Secretary of State, which is like being the Pope's top advisor and diplomat. He meets with world leaders and helps shape the Church's global policies. Parolin is well respected by other cardinals. He knows the inner workings of the Church better than almost anyone. Because of his experience and leadership, many people think he could become the next Pope. Cardinal Matteo Zuppi from Italy. Another Italian name being talked about is Cardinal Matteo Zuppi. He is the Archbishop of Bologna. Zuppi is known for his kind and open personality. He supports peace work and has been involved in helping people caught in wars and conflicts. He also supports Pope Francis's efforts to modernize the Church. Zuppi works closely with groups that try to bring the Church closer to ordinary people. His ideas and background make him a popular choice for those who want change. Cardinal Mario Grech from Malta. Cardinal Mario Grech is from Malta, a small island country in the Mediterranean. He serves as the Secretary General of the Synod of Bishops. That means he helps organize big church meetings where important decisions are discussed. Grech has worked closely with Pope Francis and supports his vision of a more open and listening church. Some cardinals see him as a good choice to continue the current direction. What happens after the Pope leaves office? When the Pope is gone, the Vatican goes into a special period called sede vacante. This means the seat of St. Peter is empty. During this time, no one leads the Church as Pope. The Camerlengo, currently Cardinal Kevin Farrell, steps in to manage day-to-day affairs. He checks that the Pope has truly died and takes care of the Vatican's money and offices. But he cannot make big decisions or change Church teachings. The conclave, a secret and sacred vote. All the cardinals under the age of 80 meet in a secret gathering called the conclave. They pray, talk, and then vote. The goal is to choose the next Pope. They meet inside the Sistine Chapel, and no one from the outside is allowed in. When a new Pope is chosen, white smoke rises from a chimney. This is how the world knows a decision has been made, a turning point for the Church. This conclave could be one of the most important in centuries. The Catholic Church is growing the fastest in places like Africa and Asia. More than ever, the Church's future depends on these regions. Choosing a Pope from one of these areas would send a strong message. It would show that the Church belongs to all people, not just those from Europe. What kind of Pope will the Church choose? Some cardinals want a Pope who will keep things the way they are. Others want someone who will bring new ideas and speak more about climate change, poverty, and peace. The next Pope will need to balance old traditions with the modern world. He must also bring unity to a Church that sometimes feels divided. Some Catholics want more change. Others are worried that too much is changing too fast. The new Pope will have to guide everyone with wisdom and love. A global moment to watch. Whoever becomes the next Pope will be a moment watched by millions around the world. Catholics and non-Catholics alike will be interested. The Pope is not just a religious leader. He is a symbol of peace, hope, and compassion. This moment will be about more than just one person. It will reflect what the Church stands for and where it is going in the future. As the world waits for the white smoke to rise, one thing is clear. This conclave could shape the future of the Catholic Church for generations. The next Pope won't just be a spiritual leader. He'll be a global voice in a time of war, climate crisis, and deep division. Whether it's a Pope from Africa, Asia, or Europe, the choice will speak volumes about the Church's direction toward tradition, reform, or a delicate balance of both. We've introduced you to the frontrunners, their backgrounds, and the powerful ideas they bring to the table. Now the question is, who will carry the weight of the keys to St. Peter? If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that explore faith, history, and the world's biggest decisions. Until next time, keep watching, keep questioning, and stay curious about the world around you.